Today I have the keys to the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Huge shout out to Benson Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for providing this truck for me today. Definitely check out their website. They have a ton of inventory to choose from. This model here is finished off in Sting Gray and it has an MSRP right around $59,000. Well, let's go ahead and get into today's review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 3.6 liter V6 engine. This model here is paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission. You can opt for the 6-speed manual as well. But this engine produces 285 horsepower, around 6,500 RPM, and 260 pound-feet of torque, around 4,400 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive with the standard 4-wheel drive system. It weighs in right around 5,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just under 8 seconds with a top speed just under 100 miles an hour. And it also has a fuel capacity of 22 gallons. You can expect to see around 17 miles per gallon in the city and 22 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 137.3 inches. Its overall length is 218. It has a width of 73.8, a height of 74.1. It has ground clearance at 11.1 inches, and it also has an approach angle of 45 degrees, a breakover angle of 21 degrees, and a departure angle of 26 degrees. With all those specs out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the exterior walk around on the Mojave. I'm going to start up top here with the hood. You'll notice on the front of it we have a functional air inlet, so that's going to provide maximum cooling to the engine. And you'll see just behind that we have these posts right here. These allow the windshield to be folded down, which I think is a really awesome design. If you want to hit the trails or you're at the beach or something like that and you want even more of that top-down experience, being able to fold the windshield is something unique to the Wrangler and the Gladiator. So that is awesome. We have some really nice bulges in the hood as well on both sides of that air inlet, just to give it a little more of an aggressive look. But as we make our way down now, this has LED headlights in a nice circular design. You'll notice that it protrudes just a little bit into the vertical slots on the exterior. So you have 7 vertical slots and a little bit of the headlight in the outer ones, which I think is a really cool touch. And then we have the turn signals on the fender flares. They are very wide and aggressive from the front end. Down below we have fog lights. There's also some tow hooks up front. You have some nice mesh in the vertical slots, again, to help provide more cooling. And then this one also has the optional trail cam. So when you're out on the trails, you have a forward-facing camera. If you don't have a spotter, that's going to be a really helpful tool to see anything in front of you, so it just gives you another set of eyes, which is really cool to see. This has a steel front bumper. Up underneath it does have skid plates as well to give you added protection. And then this also has a Dana 44 front axle and rear axle, which are going to help power the 33-inch all-terrain tires. This has 17 by 7-inch wheels wrapped in those 33s. You'll also notice behind it has a Fox suspension setup, both in the front and the rear. This model also has rock rails running underneath the doors just to give you a little bit more added protection. You'll see the mirrors are finished off in black. They also have the blind spot monitor integrated into them as well. And then up top, this has the 3-piece hardtop roof. You have a couple different options to go with. This one is relatively easy to do. You have 2 panels up front that you can take off, and they are separate from the rest of the roof. And then if you want to go ahead and take the rest of the roof off, you have a couple bolts and you can easily do that. So it's a very nice option to have. This one is body colored as well, which makes it look really nice. Along with being able to take the roof off, you can take the doors off. I'm not going to be able to do that in today's review, but I will walk you through how to do it. It's very easy to do. Jeep even provides you with the toolkit, which we'll look at here soon. But you have a bolt on the top, a bolt on the bottom. Once you remove both of those, you can come to the inside here. You remove this kick plate and then disconnect this wiring here. This is for your power locks. And then there's even a grab handle underneath the door. It makes it very easy to take the doors on and off. And then in the glove box here, you'll see the toolkit. So you have all the tools that you need to remove the doors, the windshield, the roof, and anything else that you need, which is pretty awesome to see. You'll also notice the fender flares from the side view angle here just look really aggressive, same as they did from the front and then from the rear, as you'll see here soon. And we have really nice lines that run down it. There's one just above the height of the door handles. So it has a really nice side profile design to it. And then carrying our way to the back here, you'll see the standard backup camera with the Jeep logo. This also has the integrated third brake light on the top of the tailgate. Since you can remove the roof and everything on the top of the truck, Jeep had to place the third brake light somewhere, and it's really nicely integrated into the handle. This also has LED taillights. You'll see the steel bumper down below along with tow hooks. And with the towing package, this can tow up to 7,000 pounds. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into the interior of the Gladiator. I have the key in my pocket and the vehicle locked. I'm just gonna grab the door handle and it will automatically unlock, and then you can use that small square on the back to lock the vehicle. But taking a look at the door panel now, you'll see there's black leather on the armrest along with more of the orange stitching. You also have your lock and unlock with your side mirror adjustments and the release handle up top. And then down below you have a net for extra storage space. As we take a look at the interior now, you'll see the black leather seats with Mojave spelled out, more orange accents to tie in with that orange accent theme. We have all of the manual controls on the side, along with the bar up front to be able to slide the seat forwards and backwards. Now moving on to the steering wheel, you'll see it's covered in both solid and perforated leather, along with more of the orange stitching. On the right side is all of the cruise control settings. There's also buttons on the back side, which will adjust the volume for the radio, which is very nice to see. Over on the left side, you have your Bluetooth and voice commands, along with these controls for the center screen. And then on the back side, you can also adjust the radio, so you can easily do that with those hands-free controls. And now using these buttons for the center screen here, you can see we're on the speedometer right now. I can scroll down and look at vehicle information, so you have all of your vital information, including TPMS. We can scroll down to a couple off-roading pages. You can see the steering angle. We can also look at the pitch and roll. We can scroll down and look at your fuel economy, so you have some gauges to look at there. And then you also have your trip information. We can go down to the start and stop. You can easily turn that on or off. You also have your audio, and then we have any messages and your screen setup. On the left side, you have your tach, along with the gear indicator for your two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And then on the right side is the speedometer. As we make our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you'll see a speaker down below. This does have a 9-speaker audio sound system. We have all the headlight and fog light controls. There's one air vent with more of that orange trim. You can see that extends to the stitching running across the entire dash. You have a speaker in both corners on the dash, along with a little bit of storage in the center. And then making our way underneath that, this is the 8.4-inch screen. So right now it's configured with media. We can go into the climates and you can adjust everything from your temperature, where you'd like the air to go. Just by clicking on those diagrams, we can go into controls. This does have heated seats along with a heated steering wheel. There's also shortcuts to your backup camera and forward-facing camera, which I'll show here soon. You have the fan speed on the bottom. We can go over to the controls tab, which is basically a shortcut to what I just went over. And then right in the center, we have apps. So you can look at your heated seats, your assistance, you have your off-road pages, which we can go into. And it provides you with a lot of vital information. You can look at your steering angle, same as I showed in the center screen, but now we have it in more of a full screen view. You can go to your accessory gauges, so you can monitor all of your vital information. You have your pitch and roll, and then the trail cam. So we'll go ahead and turn on the forward-facing camera. You can easily switch from the forward to the rear-facing camera, so while you're out on the trails, you can have better visibility. You can also clean the camera as well. So just by clicking on that, you can rinse off any mud. What's also nice is that if you use this page a lot, you can drag and drop it down to the bottom, and now it's readily available to go. We can go into the navigation and pull that up in full screen, so that way you can see the graphics for that system. And then we have phone and settings on the right side. You can see an air vent on each side, again more of that orange trim. And then working our way to these controls in the middle, you have some more physical buttons for the AC, along with your power and volume for the radio, tuning on the far right. You have a shortcut for your heated steering wheel, along with the heated seats, and then more AC and recirc buttons. And then just underneath that, you'll see a mute button along with the engine start-stop feature. There's traction control. You have your parking sensors, which you can turn on and off, along with a downhill assist control, and you can turn this upper screen completely off if you'd like to. And then making our way down below that, you'll see a 12-volt along with all of the window controls. On the right side, we have a USB along with an auxiliary port. A little bit of storage space down below. There's also an off-road plus button, which you do have to be in four-wheel drive to use, and then you can lock the diff, so you can do both the front and the rear, or just the rear only. And then just behind that, this is how we go from two-wheel drive to 4 high and 4 low. And then to the right of that, we have the gear selector. So going into reverse, you'll automatically see the backup camera. You can get a quick shortcut to the forward-facing camera if you'd like to. Behind that, you'll see the manual parking brake. It's finished off in leather and more stitching. There's 2 cup holders along with a small slot in the middle, perfect for a phone or the key fob. And then looking at the center armrest, you have 2 compartments. We have a smaller upper one, and then if you grab the other tab, we have the full-size compartment there along with a USB port. So plenty of room. And then taking a look at the glove box, you have a lot of room as well for everything that needs to go there. There's also a grab handle for your passenger. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these leather seats. And then down below, you'll also notice this has all-weather floor mats. And then up top, to go ahead and remove both of these panels, you have 4 of these tabs on both sides. So we have one there, you have a lock in the center, and then you have one on each corner in the back. And you can easily remove both of these panels. You do have to do the driver's side first, and then you can go ahead and do the passenger side. Hopping into the back seats of the Gladiator now, you'll see that the leather and stitching continues onto the back here. We have really nice orange accents. I think it looks really nice. Behind both front seats, there's some netting for extra storage space. Along with a really nice pattern here, you could hook any items that you'd like to on here. So it's really nice to have the option to do that. Right in the center, we have 2 air vents along with the window controls. There's also 2 USB ports and a 3-prong household outlet if you need to use that. And then 2 cup holders down at the bottom. And then as far as headroom and legroom goes, I'm 5'10", and I have plenty of room. I have about a foot above my head, and then my feet easily go up underneath the seat with it set at my height, have a couple inches in front of my knees. So it's actually really comfortable and roomy. You'll also notice just above the back of the front seats, we have the crossbar here, part of the roll cage. It also has a speaker on both sides, along with the dome lights right in the center. And then also in the middle back here, you can fold down the armrest. It has 2 additional cup holders, so you have 4 for the back seat passengers. And then you can also fold down the backrests. It gives you a little bit more storage space, and you can fold up the bottoms here, and you have a lot of hidden storage space with compartments, and you can also put all of the bolts for the doors, windshield, and the roof in a secure location. Last up, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the bed. This has the 5-foot bed. It also has an easy assist opening tailgate, so that way it won't fall straight down. Makes it much lighter to go ahead and close it at the same time. This one has the spray-in bed liner just to give it a little bit more durability. There's tow hooks in each corner, along with a dome light on both sides to give you visibility at nighttime. This also has the manual sliding rear glass in the back glass there. And then, as I said earlier, very easy to go ahead and close the tailgate. All right, so getting the Jeep Gladiator out on the road now. This is not the first time that I've been behind the wheel of the Gladiator, but I always enjoy getting to drive one and getting it out on the roads. I really wish I could get one out on the trails and really see how well it performs off-road, because with the solid front axle, solid rear axle, you have locking diffs, the upgraded axles as well. This is definitely going to be a beast off-road. 33-inch tires from the factory, which is pretty awesome to see, and of course you could stuff even larger tires on this with a few modifications. That's what I really love about Jeeps. It doesn't take a whole lot in order to modify them and get them even more trail ready. Not to say that this stock one could not do a lot, because as I said earlier, I'm sure it would perform and do really well. But let's talk about what it's like to be in the Gladiator. If you see my previous reviews, I may not go into as many details today, but I love getting to drive these. They're much more refined than the previous models. This is kind of based on the Wrangler JL. So the newer generation Wrangler has been brought into the Gladiator basically with the addition of the pickup. So it makes it a little bit more versatile if you need that space. If you have a lot of toys or you just need that area that you can't use in the back of a Wrangler, it's a perfect option. And you can still take the doors off, you can take the roof off. Giving it a little bit of gas now. We'll test its acceleration. And we're up to the speed limit just like that. It's not a 0 to 60 vehicle, but I think it has an adequate amount of power. It's been pretty comfortable. I'm gonna hit some of these bumps here just to feel it a little bit. A solid front axle vehicle definitely adapts to the road differently than a vehicle with an independent front suspension. Not to say that's good or bad, it's just a little different. It takes some getting used to, but at the same time, I think it rides great. I've been in enough Wranglers, which is pretty much the same as this, to know how they drive out on the road, and I really don't have any complaints with it. Personally, I do want to get a Wrangler or a Gladiator at some point, and I think it's just a great vehicle. I love everything that you have on the interior here. The screen is really easy to go through. You have a couple buttons right in the center, and then you have your window controls and your off-road buttons down at the bottom. So it's a really nicely laid out interior here. But moving on to the overall visibility right now, same as you would expect in any other pickup truck really. It's really easy to see over both shoulders. The pillars or the back of the roof there is really not all that bulky, so I can easily see in all directions, even out the back glass there over my left shoulder. And I really like how steeply raked the front windshield is. I can basically see the base of the hood here. You feel like you're very high up in this truck, which is a really nice feeling to have. And one thing that I did forget to mention too is that this has a bag right here behind the back seats for these two roof panels. So you can take these off and bring them with you. You can place them in the bed if you'd like to, or in the back seats here if you have the room, and you can bring them with you. So you can take those panels off, and if you need to throw them back on, you have the option to do that. And as I mentioned earlier, doors come off, and it's really easy to do. I've done it before on a Wrangler, and it takes about 5 or 10 minutes. Once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to do. And it's such a cool experience. If you've ever been able to take the doors off of a Wrangler or Gladiator, it's such a cool experience. I wish I could do that in today's video, but having just that open area or that open experience is just very cool to be able to do. So that's one feature that I love that you can't do on any other pickup truck. So that's a really unique feature that I love about the Gladiator. And so far, just driving it around town, it's handled really well. We're gonna go around a right-hand turn here. Again, this isn't really meant for cornering, but going, daily driving this, going around turns like that, it's been really great, so I have no complaints with that. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk-around review and test drive in the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Once again, massive shout out to Benson, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this pickup truck for me today. Definitely check out their website. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video.